Alright, so the time right now is 9:04 p.m. and it's Saturday, October 18th, 2025. And I'm starting a little bit earlier tonight than I did yesterday night or whatever. And yet again, you're seeing just the trash rates coming at me. Even though I started earlier, you know. But like I said before, it's trash. Like I said before, doesn't matter what time you do the trips or you do the orders, the pickups. It doesn't matter what time you do it, whether it's the daytime, nighttime, a lot of times even in the morning times when I said that, you know, the breakfast times is probably a little bit better, but it doesn't matter what times because you're still gonna get shit, right? Also, the area that I'm in is in Buckhead, right? So if anybody's in the Atlanta area, you know, we know that Buckhead is presumed to be the predominant area where there seems to be some money. This restaurant, do I want that? It's $2 a mile. I don't know if I want that at all. I don't think I want it. Yeah, so we're gonna skip on that right there from that restaurant. And usually they pay a lot better. That was $2 a mile. It was cool, but I just didn't want that restaurant. That's trash right there. And as I was saying in my other videos too, that they'll give like a good order, like a somewhat no. You see, the thing about this is like I just don't do. It doesn't matter the price and stuff like that. When it comes to like doing orders for two people, like I said, it doesn't matter to me. It's my thing is like, why do you need to bundle the orders together? There's no need for you to bundle these orders together because, like I said before, opportunity cost and risk. The amount of opportunity cost and risk that you're still taking when you take these bundled orders, it doesn't usually. No, we don't do Wingstop at all because Wingstop every time always has a problem, so we don't do that. Definitely no. I'm sorry guys, I'm just having to pay attention or whatever. But the opportunity cost when it comes to certain orders or whatever, it's just not really worth, you know, my time reasonably. Like whenever I do my, you know, risk assessment or whatever and stuff, if I don't like the fact that, you know, it's two people that I'm serving for a one person price, like I do that, was it $12 or whatever for 3 miles, I'll do that for one person. But when it comes to two people, I don't know. That becomes really iffy. That's a no. That restaurant used to pay a lot better, so they need to get whatever that is together. $12 for 3 miles for CVS. You know what? This one I like though. This one I like. Remember how I said that I like the shop and pay orders? They're finally giving me a shop and pay order that actually makes sense. Like, you know, it's 7 items or whatever. I can shop for these pretty easily. Doesn't take much time, but then, you know, it's DoorDash with their shenanigans as usual. But yeah, I'll be back when I get done with this order. I don't know what time I plan on finishing or whatever for like finishing the night out or whatever, but I'll let you guys see what else comes down the hell no. Hell no. You know what and you know what's crazy about this? Look at this again. $1 peak pay, right? You know, it's so crazy to me that where is the extra money at? Like I said before, the money is already included in those prices. So there is no extra, you're not getting no extra prices for, you know, whatever they're saying that you're gonna get an extra $1 for. Like every time you see an extra $1, just know that it's already included in the price. You're not gonna see an extra $2.50 over here. You're not gonna see an extra $1 here. You're not gonna see an extra $1 here. You're not gonna see an extra $2.50 there, an extra $1 here. It's already included in the price. It's not extra, it's already included. It's already been subsidized in the price. So, you know, don't get your hopes up anymore. Like I said, this is not pre-pandemic. You know, this is not like how it used to be at all, where they actually used to compensate you fairly. The price that you see, you know, could possibly differ, but not at all these days. The price that you see is what you're going to possibly get, and you have a high chance of probably being tip baited too at the same time. So you still never know what you're gonna get, but a lot of times you're either gonna get the price that you see or you're gonna get less. So, you know. But yeah, that's all for now. The time right now is 9:36 p.m. Saturday, October 18th, 2025. And just an update about the CVS order that I was just doing. I've never had this happen to me, but literally while I was shopping for the customer's order, the customer decided to randomly cancel. So I like I said, I've never had that happen to me before, or whatever. Every time I've been shopping or whatever, you know. But I guess the customer wanted to cancel. I don't know why. There was no reason. Uber support or whatever gave me a what do you call it? Like a fare supplement or whatever you want to call it, a reimbursement or whatever of like their little thing or whatever. But other than that, yeah, like I said, the customer randomly canceled the order while I was shopping for them. So it is what it is. It's take a lot of losses on these trips sometimes. But it's cool. Also, I figured out why, like, if you guys ever have like trouble hearing my videos and stuff, I noticed that when I record like from the speakers on my phone, everything comes out clearly. So, and I have the phone like on my dash or whatever, and everything comes out clearly or whatever. But for some reason, when I have my phone on Bluetooth in my car, I guess the mic in my car doesn't pick up very well, and it picks up a lot of the background noise instead of the in-cabin noise. Well, I guess the background noise that seems like it doesn't, what do you call it? Like, it doesn't separate the two noises from each other for some odd reason. It's not well insulated, I guess I want to say. So it picks up a lot of like the background noise. So I apologize, if my videos don't seem to have the best audio quality. But like I said before, I figured out what the difference is. It's me putting my phone on Bluetooth and then the sound coming through the microphone on my Bluetooth in my car versus the speaker on my phone. It happens to be a lot clearer or whatever. So I might need to get maybe a separate microphone or whatever to like a Bluetooth microphone or whatever, and just connect like that instead. But I see that I can't use my Bluetooth on my car very often because it doesn't pick up the sound very good whenever I record the videos. But yeah, so that order's trashed now. So now I have to start back all over again and search for another order. And it seems that it's busy right now. So, well, we're in Buckhead. Whoops. I have to click on Buckhead. Already starting me out with trash. No. More trash. God. Still have me working part-time for waste management, bro. I'm telling you. Sometimes I wonder, like I said before, like, this service, no, we're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. Not for this CVS, not again. But like I said before, when you order on, these apps or whatever, DoorDash and Uber Eats, and, you use all these, like, convenience-based services, sometimes I wonder, like, when these people's orders are so low paying, I just wonder, like, why are we using the like, yes, I get it, you paid for the service, you gave money for the service, you paid a service fee, but at the same time, because it's convenience, you didn't pay the amount that would get the service done for you, you know. And like I said, this statement that I'm making right now reflects on if you pay the cheaper price versus if you pay the better price, you know, like the more expensive price, you know. Like I said, oh wow, this one's actually pretty decent right here. I don't mind doing 2 people for this price. Like, this is what I'm saying right here. This is what I don't mind accepting. I'll do, this is the orders that I'll do that's bundled together, 2 people for a basically 2 people price. Like, so these people paid together like $15 or something like that. Like, basically $16 together, if they pay $16 together, because sometimes, again, somebody probably supplemented somebody else within the orders or whatever. But I don't mind taking orders like these specifically where, you know, I'm being paid fairly. Yet again, being paid fairly, that's a big thing, where, you know, in order for me to do these types of orders, I don't mind, you know, serving customers that want to pay me. Like, that's trash right there. Like, I just don't understand. And like I said, that goes back to, you know, if you want to use a service, you're gonna have to pay more, because it is about convenience. It is not about the fact that you want to pay for a service and you feel entitled to the fact that you want to, you know, use a service. No, you have to pay a certain price, a certain threshold, to get the service also done right for you, and even a lot of times get the service done in general. Just because you know, like in this example could go back to, like, just because you want to pay for, you know, whatever you want to pay for, if it doesn't, you know, just because you're giving a person $30 to do, you know, an oil change, or do, like, you're trying to buy a product and that price is still under the threshold of the service or the product that's being priced or whatever, if it's under that threshold, it doesn't matter if you still have money to give to the person. No, like I said, this is not usually a lot of times negotiable. It is about meeting that threshold for the service to get done, or get that product, you know, to you in a correct way, in the right way. You know, a lot of times you pay for what you get, and a lot of times if you pay the least price, a lot of times you're not going to get the best service, you're not going to get the best products, you know. And this doesn't occur or happen every time, but a lot of times this statement can go towards multiple different types of scenarios, you know, where if you don't pay, you know, a decent price for whatever service or product that you're choosing to get, you're probably not going to get the best service or the best results out of that product or service that you're looking to get, you know. And like I said, this is a convenience-based service, and if you don't pay the thresholded price, then a lot of times you're not going to get the service done. And I'm going to keep reiterating that this is convenience-based, you know. And it's very common knowledge in this gig community that if you don't pay for the work, you're not going to get the work done. And you're not going to get it done correctly, too, at the same time. Like I said, sometimes there's people that you will still pay money to that will still do a horrible job, and they don't really care about their work. But there's a lot of people that do want to get paid fairly and get compensated fairly, and they do care about their work. And they'll get it done right for you if you just paid them correctly, you know? Like I said before, that's what I'm going to keep on reiterating, that it's about paying a certain price to get the job done correctly. The time right now is 10:39 p.m. and it's Saturday, October 18th, 2025. And I just want to show you guys, well, I just finished delivering that a bundled order with mellow mushroom and then the Hong Kong city and stuff like that. You guys seen the price for $32.50, but I got offered $10 more from the mellow mushroom customer due to the fact that there was I guess some type of mishap where another driver forgot another part of the customer's order. So you know, it was like some type of mishap, but we got it squared away, and I brought them that other part of the order, and they actually tipped me an extra $10. And you know, sometimes I guess what I want to say is that sometimes going the extra mile for the customers that you do decide to serve. Like I said, this is not for, not everybody is gonna, get your service depending on, if you decide to not serve them and stuff. This is for the customers that you decide to serve. But going above and beyond, not like doing extra, but like just showing the customer service, like showing that you actually care for the customer, showing that you want to take care of them, make sure that they got everything that they, that they need, that they requested. Just going those extra few steps can lead to, just you getting like extra money, and this doesn't happen every time, so you can't really bet on the fact that the customer is gonna, give you, extra money at the end. But at the end of the day, one, like every customer that you can keep, every customer that you can, make happy, that you can satisfy, is a customer that you can keep serving in the future, and because in this business, you as a driver, a partner of DoorDash or Uber and stuff like that, if you get to keep that customer, Uber and DoorDash get to keep that customer. Unfortunately, Uber and DoorDash are gonna probably rip that customer off. But if you want to keep making money as a driver, you want to keep on getting money as a driver and stuff like that, keep on serving the customers that treat you well, that you treat well and stuff like that, treat your customers the best that you can. Just go out and do, the best service that you can do, that you know how to do. And sometimes it's not even anything extravagant. A lot of times it's just keeping a customer updated about their order. If there's some type of slowdown, letting them know that you're on the way. Simple things. Just like, it's about the small things, the little things. That's what the saying goes. It's about the little things. And that's what can make a big difference on you keeping a customer and you losing a customer. And like I said, even though these are technically Uber and DoorDash's customer, but you as a driver, because you're a partner of them, they're your customers too. And if you want to keep the customers using the platform so you can keep on getting money and stuff, just like I said, just use that formula of treating the customers better than most other drivers would, or most other professionals would, because I guess we're considered professionals and in what we do or whatever. But just doing something different, which is like I said, just tending to the customer just a little bit more than the other person would. Because a lot of times you would never guess like how many times I've gotten from customers where, just letting them know, just like that their order, like if there's a delay with their order, that their order is still being prepared, just letting the customer know that what's going on, like simple things like that just seem to go a long way for real, because it seems that not everybody does that. Not everybody has like the common decency or, the professionalism, the, just that take care of your customer the way that, if they were yours, like to get your money, just take care of your customer. Like I said, just, you would be surprised how many times I've gotten from different customers that like, wow, thank you, for letting me know, like I said, some of these tips a lot of times come from me just letting the customer know about like the issues with the order, letting them know that, hey, it's going to take this X amount of time until your order's done. I'm on the way, just different, little things just to keep the customer updated. Like I said, it's just little things. But yeah, other than that, like I said, I'm all done with that order. I gotta head back down to the Buckhead area. I'm not too far. I'm just in Sandy Springs, as you can see, but I'm supposed to be in Buckhead. But that order was more than worth it for the price and stuff. So, and then getting out my area, because like I said, Sandy Springs and Buckhead, they're not too far away from each other. This is like the metro area of Atlanta, so every city kind of like, even though it looks kind of like it's far away, it's really not far away. It really is like maybe less than 10 minutes away until I get into like the Buckhead area. But I want to say thank you to my customer from Mellow Mushroom. I don't want to say the name of the customer, but I just want to say thank you to that customer very much. You know, I'm always glad to, you know, serve customers that appreciate us, you know, that appreciate me, you know, just for the little things. You know, I appreciate customers like you that appreciate things that, you know, when customers appreciate when the job is done correctly, you know, I appreciate that, you know. So again, thank you very much to that customer that left that extra tip. So but yeah, I'm about to head back over to Buckhead to see if, you know, they're still actually paying well. Let me see something real quick. But before I do that, also I wanted to show, like, so I what is this? What is this? It's trash, right? Yep, trash. Trash. Straight in the garbage. But also, like, I don't just do trash. That's 50 cents a mile, a hard 50 cents a mile. God damn. But I don't just do Uber and DoorDash. I do Amazon, and one of my trips that I just did was actually super easy. And this isn't every time. Amazon does the same weird shit that DoorDash and Uber does, you know, not on a regular basis, but they be doing like some finagling and stuff like that too. But here's my last trip. So, and this one was actually really easy. So I only picked up like 3 bags, and it was like 3 grocery bags. It was from Whole Foods out here in Sandy Springs. Super easy for a customer. The drop wasn't far at all. It was literally like 12 minutes away from the Whole Foods. Like I said, super easy. But this trip was actually priced, if you guys do Amazon, this trip was actually priced from $42 to $70 or something like that. And that's based on like tips. So the tips always don't, you know, they won't always reflect, you know, that price, but that's what Amazon kind of like in their algorithm, what they've kind of gathered, that, you know, certain customers will tip in certain areas at certain times for certain, you know, from certain stores. So they said that this is supposed to be $42 through like $70 or whatever. So I'll figure that out tomorrow night. I'll get paid from this around like 12 or 1 a.m. tomorrow. So Sunday night I'll get paid. Oh shit, no, I should be like Monday morning, like early Monday morning-ish. So that'll be, yeah, Sunday night, early Monday morning-ish or whatever. It takes like 27 hours, and then it will show like everything. But that trip, like I said, was super simple. You know, I'll be doing like the little 3-hour blocks. So a lot of times it's like $20 an hour. This was on Friday. This was $20 an hour right here. The $66, $20 an hour for 3 hours, as you guys can see. No, that's trash. This one was $82.50 for what is that, like 3? No, that's another. Ew, straight to Kennesaw? What, brother? No, this is about 3 hours there. I only do like 3-hour blocks, because when you cross like the realms of 4 hours, they be doing a little too much for like the trips, and they don't be paying. They pay less a lot of times. The more hours that you do, they pay less. So my like sweet range is like around 3 hours. Like you can literally get a lot of times what they'll do is they'll try to pay. So for 5 hours, usually standard out here in Georgia, right, in Atlanta, the base rate is $18 an hour, right? So, and if you get like a 5-hour block or whatever, they want to pay you only $90 like flat for 5 hours, right? But like I said, this block right here was like for 3 hours and I think 30 minutes or whatever. I think that's what this is, 3.5 hours here on the, was it 3:45 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. the $82.50 right here. I think that was for like 3.5 hours there. I don't know, maybe my math is wrong, but I think that was for 3.5 hours. If it shows no, it doesn't show what that block was, but I think it was for 3.5 hours. Everybody could do the math for me if you know. But like I said, you can literally make the same amount of money for less time on these blocks. You just gotta like gauge whenever the blocks are being put out, and what times they're actually trying to get you to run them. In the morning times you'll get the better prices, and the late evening times. So early morning times like 3 a.m., like 3:15 a.m., 3:45 a.m., 4 a.m. That's when you'll get like the best prices beginning out, and then it'll die down around like the later afternoon times or whatever, because everything is dying down anyway in general. Like they used to pay a lot more anyway, but everything is dying down. So in the like late morning, early afternoons, you'll get like some of the worst blocks a lot of times. And then in the evening times around like 5 p.m., 7 p.m. or something like that, 6 p.m., that's when things kind of get priced a little bit better again, until it goes back into like the morning, like I said, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., whatever, 5 a.m. A lot of times you'll get the better prices then. But that's how that works. But like I said, I get money from Amazon too whenever they want to pay, because I don't do all their blocks. They be on some BS too. So let me just show you guys like these aren't I actually have a block scheduled for, these are for Monday actually. I actually have 2 blocks scheduled for tomorrow actually. So here, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is like $20 an hour for the Norcross location or whatever. So I'm gonna do these are usually pretty easy. Certain locations usually have easy routes or whatever. Norcross usually is like it just depends. But yeah, this one starts at 11 a.m. to 2:30, and then the next one is at 6 to 9 p.m. So that's an easy $112. Yeah, $112 tomorrow. Yeah. No, not 120. Not 120. Fucking shit. My math is $136. Whoops. Is that right? Right? Is that 132? Right? Because 120 plus 12, 132. Yeah, $132. Yeah. That would be 132. Let me just. Sorry, my brain is a little slow right now. So let's see. So 66 plus 66 should be 132. Yeah, that's my bad, you guys. So oh shit. Okay. Yeah, but I got it correct. So $132 tomorrow. That's what I'll be making. And then I also do what's it called? Let's get out of here real quick, because you guys already seen like the trash trips. These aren't like, I don't pick out these trips yet, because these are all like base fare. These are all the fares before the day even comes. So I'll wait till Monday actually gets here, because if you pick these trips, like they're underpricing you, so you can get a better rate the day of. So you don't ever want to pick the day before a lot of times, unless they're actually paying an increased rate. And then a lot of times Amazon will be lying to you and be like, there's some increased rates available or whatever, and then they're talking about, and then these are the increased rates right here. Like these are base fare. These are all base fare trips right here, like $18 an hour or whatever, maybe even $19 an hour max a lot of times. So you have to wait the day of in order to get a better rate. But yeah, I do. And also, let me show you, there's an app that if you guys can get onto trash, if you guys can get onto, it's called Gig Pro. And they actually pay pretty decently for a lot of the different amount of work that you can do. You can do like bartender work or server work, line cook work, different types of work or whatever that they have available on here. It's not all. And also I do want to put a discretionary message out there that just because you did like apply to like these certain types of jobs or whatever doesn't mean you're gonna always get them, because I have a whole bunch of things that I applied to, like 20 things that I applied to here. These are like dishwashing jobs or whatever. I applied to like some other types of jobs too, like front of house, like it's called FOH, it's called front of house. So you're basically helping out the servers and stuff. I've done that before for a restaurant. Before I applied to a few of those different types of like server jobs I've applied to, but the dishwashing jobs and then the server jobs are usually the ones that pay the most. But the line cook or the prep cook usually a lot of times gets paid really well, as you guys seen too. I don't have any experience with, you know, prep cooking or line cooking or whatever and stuff. It doesn't say that you need experience with these. Like, let's say like this is Marlowe's Tavern. It doesn't say that you need experience. This is all it says that you would need, you know, just to chop fruits, vegetables, meat, seafoods, you know, prepare. But they do pick the best qualified candidate, I guess, based on like, you know, if you do have experience or not. A lot of times that's how they choose them, but you don't have to have experience. Like as you can see here with the bar back or whatever, it says no experience required. So they're, you know, putting it out there that you don't need experience. But like I said, if it doesn't show the no experience required, then a lot of times they are looking for some type of experience, and they're gonna pick the ones that they feel is the closest to their requirement or whatever. But like I said, this is what they usually pay. Some of the shifts are actually pretty long for you know, the pay and stuff. So this one's like a bartender for, this is out here in Atlanta, right? Yep, out here in Atlanta. Trash. So a nice $250, but you're gonna have to work like almost 15 hours at $17 an hour. Which is, the pay rate is horrible or whatever, but I mean it's work. I don't want to do that at all. You know, because that's like half my day gone. I mean, $260 for half of a day, I guess that's okay. I mean, I think you could probably get more based on being paid a higher pay rate. I'm quite sure the pay rate for some of these jobs are kind of low. But in gig work, they kind of underpay you or whatever in a lot of the jobs. But some of the jobs are pretty simple or whatever. You can do for like 8 hours or whatever of the day, 5 hours for the day, and, you know, make some money. You know, make quick money. And a lot of times the jobs aren't that hard at all. You just do whatever job that, you know, that they do for the time period that they have you for, and then that's it. I do have a job on a dishwashing job on October 21st or whatever at this company here. So it's yeah, from 6 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. and it's just supposedly washing dishes or whatever. But that's on like the 21st. It's paying $144. So I'll do the 8 hours that it's, you know, requesting me to do. I think it was 8 hours, right? It says 8 hours. No, trash. Hold on. What is it? Is that 8 hours? I think that's 8 hours there. But yeah, doing the 8 hours, making $144, and this is also instant pay too. You actually get paid instantly once you're actually done with the job, which is actually pretty cool. It's very convenient. So I'll finish this job or whatever, and maybe I might do you know, Uber, DoorDash, or Amazon, and then I'll make like, you know, $200 for that day or whatever, which is cool. But like I said, it's extra money. And it's not always guaranteed every time. They do pick the best candidates in their eyes, you know, for whatever you're requesting. You know, they pick the best candidates there in their eyes. But Hill Liquors, let's see. Nope. That's not enough. I only touch alcohol for certain prices. If it's not a decent price, I don't touch alcohol, because like I said before, it becomes super risky at certain prices, like when you deal with like customers that are, and not every customer that's, you know, requesting, you know, the alcohol deliveries are intoxicated, but a lot of times when you do get these alcohol orders, you raise your risk of bumping into one of those customers that you will probably like regret having to serve. But you do risk the like a big factor of like running into one of those customers. But yeah. So I kind of, like I said, I only do certain things for a certain price. I don't serve everybody for just the heck of it. No, it has to be, if the price is right, then you know I can serve you right. You feel me? So, but yeah, let me head out down to Buckhead again. Hopefully they're still paying. I just wanted to kind of voice that to you guys, that you know, just like serving your customers, the customers that you choose to serve, just serve them the best way that you can. You know, like just put some effort into making sure that they're taken care of, just like how you'd want to be taken care of. You know, put some effort into making sure that they're taken care of. You know, because just treat a person like how you want to be treated. That's the basic concept of it. You know, so yeah, I got like 12 minutes to get, like I said, it was like not too far away from, and that's not even, that's going to one of the hot spots in Buckhead. Like I said, I'm probably a little bit closer because Sandy Springs is not very far off from Buckhead, but I'm 12 minutes from the hot spot I'm going to go back to, just to get into like the general area, and I'll make my way to wherever I need to be at from there. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys a little later whenever I get back to the area. The time right now is 12:11 or 12:12 a.m. Sunday, October 19th, 2025. Just wanted to show you guys for my last recording. I actually got a trip not too long from when I ended it. I got this trip at 11:03 p.m. You guys can see in the top left corner there, that's 11:03 p.m. But this is what I did. This is for 2 people. This is the only way that I accept 2 people orders. Like I said, I do not accept 2 people orders for, like, you know, low weird prices that are like $1 a mile. This is $2 a mile here, because, you know, 17 plus 17, that should be 34. Yeah, 34. So we're at 38. So we did our $2 a mile there. You know, that's $2 a mile for 2 customers, right? 2 different stores. They weren't very far apart. The miles here said that they were supposed to be 17 even. We actually finished around 11:49 p.m. and the mileage that we did was 16.5. So sometimes Uber and DoorDash's mileage calculations are a little bit off. Sometimes they're not all the way, you know, sometimes it'll be like I'll beat the mileage by like over a mile or 2 or something like that sometimes. But a lot of times it's usually I beat it by like half a mile or like 0.7 of a mile or something like that. But, you know, still, you know, I still did less driving than what Uber said that I would or whatever. But yeah, that's what I did for this trip here. I'm out in Sandy Springs still again, so I gotta see what's going on out here in Sandy Springs, since it keeps on bringing me out here in Sandy Springs for some odd reason, as you know, you guys can see from, oh, actually I'm not in, well, I'm in like Roswell, but it's like, it shows as Roswell, but it's Sandy Springs. Like, so I'm at a Quick Trip out here that's really zip coded to Sandy Springs. Like, if I show you where I'm at, so if I zoom out right here, right, if I zoom out, it's gonna say, well, it shows Roswell there, but I'm in Dunwoody. So, and in this QT right here, it's Sandy Springs. So, I mean, I don't know, like I said, it's keeps on. Anyway, the orders keep on bringing me to the Sandy Springs area for whatever reason. So it seems that like this area might be it is the prominent areas, and right now it's kind of showing its numbers. It's kind of showing its true colors, I guess I want to say right now. This is Roswell, but I'm probably gonna leave the area to go down to Buckhead again, probably. Every time, brother. Okay, I'm back. I had to, as usual, do the verification or whatever, the photo verification. So, they just want to see that you're the actual person that's supposed to be using the app or whatever. So I just did a verification. But yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna go back down to Buckhead or whatever, because the city is somewhat. Oh hell no, the city is somewhat busy or whatever, and I also haven't eaten at all yet, so I gotta hell no, nope. I gotta figure out what I want to eat or whatever, because I haven't eaten anything. Yeah, I ate like hours ago. So sometimes I'll be working so much that I'll be forgetting that I haven't eaten it all, and I'll go like almost half a day without eating because I work and then I'm doing other things or whatever and stuff, and I'll forget. It's crazy, but yeah, like I said, I'm about to probably head out to Buckhead or probably Atlanta, because there's some type of extra $2 event going on where they give you an extra $2 per ride. I don't know how many rides they're giving this for, but it's some type of quest. Let me see, and it's for all types of trips. It doesn't just only come down to like, what is it, just Uber Eats trips, but I think it's for everything. Let me see. This is for, yeah, so here's a trip. This is Friday, through Sunday. So yeah, each trip is $2 or whatever on top of whatever trip that you do, but it's only in the selected areas. It's a whole bunch of $2. Trips must begin in Atlanta, so it's somewhere in that area that is showing the highlighted blue. It's all types of trips, so it could be package trips, Uber pickup trips, and Uber Eats trips, and this offer only applies to completed trips. Okay, whatever. $2 is pretty sad because Uber, they used to offer way more incentives, and DoorDash used to offer way more incentives, but they're being cheap or whatever. They're, like I said, underpaying. They want us to do the most work, as always. So, but yeah, I'm about to head out to, because this area is kind of slow at nighttime. There's not really much going on in like the Roswell area, so it looks like the reason why I keep on coming out to like Sandy Springs or the area that I'm talking about, like Dunwoody or whatever, is because everybody's ordering from like the city, which makes sense or whatever, and then bringing it out to which Dunwoody and Sandy Springs is like part of the metro area. Roswell starts to become the outskirts of Atlanta. So I guess these orders make sense of why they keep on bringing me out here, because everybody's ordering from like the city, because that's when everything is still like open out there or whatever still. So but yeah, I'll let you guys know when I get out there and show you guys what types of offers I'm getting. As you guys see, it's still trash, but whatever, right? Alright. Alright, the time right now is 2:54 a.m. and it's Sunday, October 19th, 2025. I'm back from whatever I think I was doing I was headed to, I think, Buckhead or whatever on my last clip or whatever. And well, I try to go back to I went back to the city and try to scout out some rides. Didn't go as planned. um I tried to get no that was one of the other trips or whatever. I tried to get this trip. I think I don't remember what this one was right here, but I forgot what was this one. Oh, this was a McDonald's order. Um, and that one had to get canceled because of the fact that the store was closed or the restaurant was closed. So had to cancel that one. Taco Bell. This one got canceled because of yet again, people are stealing orders. So, when you get to the store, you have sometimes with like the higher paying orders, which this one was at Taco Bell, it was like $25 for, I don't remember, like 7, 8, or 9 miles. It was something like that. So it was pretty decent. It's still $2 a mile or whatever. But for some odd reason, especially at the Taco Bells and the McDonald's, like the late night places, but especially Taco Bell, they're the main victims of just somebody stealing the orders or whatever. And I never understand that at all, because I'm like, why can't you just get the money? Like, you're not going to get the money if you're taking the order. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you're getting the money if you're taking the order. So it's like, my thing is like, the priorities of some of these drivers is messed up or whatever. Like, and I get it, maybe, somebody's hungry, but goddamn, like, just get the money and you can get the food, like, get your own food. I don't know, man. But like I said, so that customer's order from Taco Bell right here was stolen. So I had to report that and get that order canceled. This was a trifecta order here. It was from two from the same restaurant and another one from a different one, but I couldn't make it to this pickup because I was stuck in the line here at the Taco Bell for too long. So by the time I was heading out to go pick up this trifecta order here, Uber had reassigned it to somebody else or whatever, so I didn't even get to go to the restaurant to pick it up. But everything happens for a reason, so maybe it just wasn't for me, right? And after that, I just seen that the rates were just straight shit, and I just stopped just there a while ago. I forgot what time I stopped at, but I stopped like over 2 hours ago. I had to get something to eat or whatever, decompress, because the shit was annoying me. But this is what I made so far for the week of October 13th through the 20th. Like I said, I do multiple different things or whatever, so it's $200 off of Uber. But on the day, 2 trips, 3 hours online, but that doesn't count for like I guess I want to say like the hours I was working or whatever. So what is it? I got $42 there, and let's see the breakdown on it. And I only did one order off of Uber, I think, right? There's only one order off of Uber. This is 48 minutes right here. Did I only do one order? I started at like what, 9 p.m. Yeah, I started at 9 p.m. Yeah, and then this order, the CVS order, got canceled by the customer while I was working it. So that was like 48 minutes, or like less than an hour for this double order here. And then off of DoorDash, we got this order here, this double order also, with the mellow mushroom and the Hong Kong City, and that was $42. So together we made what was that? 40. Because I also got compensated or whatever for like this trip. So what was it on here? 4204 plus the 4250. So we made $44. Yeah, we made about 44. No, $80. 80. Was it $84? In about like 2 hours. Yeah, that's what, according to, yeah, about 2.5 hours or whatever, less than 3 hours that we worked, that I worked or whatever, I made $84 or whatever. But this was the night that was okay. Like, these were the okay nights that I was speaking about, where, in the previous months I've had like okay days, and these were the okay days where, like, I was getting just some orders that were actually worth my time or whatever, and worked them or whatever, and everything was okay or whatever. I made my money, got off the road, and tried again the next day. But that's what I made for the day. And like I said, 2.5 hours or so. That's what the calculations I think come out to be. But $84 on the day or whatever. So I gotta do Amazon in the morning at about like 8:30. No, not 8:30. Damn. 11. I'm tired. I'm tired. So yeah, 11:30 or whatever a.m. So I gotta do Amazon, and I'll figure out what else I want to do or whatever later. But that's all for today.